Welcome to the latest episode of the Cricket Blog podcast, and it's ODI cricket, and it's starting to heat up. The Asia Cup starts this week. Plenty of rivalries to look forward to. Of course, India versus Pakistan, and also Sri Lanka versus Bangladesh later this week. I can't wait for that. That's always an eventful one.
Yeah,
Charbel here from Cricket
absolutely.
Blog Australia fan, and Nash, India fan. How are you, mate?
I'm good. I'm good. Looking forward to the Asia Cup, and as you said, a few rivalries going around there. And
Mm.
as you rightly mentioned, India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, also Afghanistan, Pakistan is a big one. Um,
100%. Yes.
few there were a few tempers flying around last time they met. I think in a big tournament. I think it was 2021 World Cup, if I'm correct, in Dubai. And
Well, also in last year's Asia Cup, if you remember,
yes,
I think it was
yeah,
Naseem Shah broke
yep.
hearts then. So, yeah, 100% right. That game is going to be a cracker. And they had I thought Pakistan won 3-0 in the recent ODI series, but I thought Afghanistan played quite well at times in that series as well. So should be
Yeah,
good.
absolutely. And I think it's a good point for us to start this mini episode on that note, because we are doing our predictions, what we think about the upcoming Asia Cup. And I think it's safe to say that Afghanistan are going to be, if they are not world beaters already, they are going to be, a force to reckon within a few years' time. And I think they've certainly shown that in the last couple of years with their progress and the way they have competed against Pakistan in the recently concluded series, albeit they lost
Yep.
the series 3-0. But um, they showed promise at the top with the ball as well. They didn't let the game sort of drift away from them at any stage. Let not forgetting the first one day where they were beaten, comprehensively. But in the second and the third one day, I think it was they brought themselves back, although still ended up on the losing side. And that's where I think it's going to be key for them in the Asia Cup is, they seem to lose out on those key moments where they need to really
Yeah.
put their head down and just focus on those moments, because it's always those little moments that make for the big picture. Um,
Yep.
and I think if I was to start with my prediction, I will say that I can see Afghanistan getting in the top four. And that means there has to be one loser out of the other big teams. And for me, I think
Yep.
I think it's going to be, I want to say Sri Lanka.
This is the
Um,
hardest group. So
yep,
we can agree, in this Super 4 prediction, we can agree India and Pakistan will go through.
yep.
And then the other group is like, I'm just like crossing this out. Okay, no, I think they'll make it. No, actually, no. Let me change my mind. No, let me. It's a bit like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
What do
Look,
you
look.
think?
I
What have
think.
you landed on?
Look, I
What have you
think.
landed on in that group?
Well, um, as I said, I'm going for Bangladesh and Afghanistan from that group, and then India, Pakistan, as you rightly said. But also, do want to mention, it's not. Let's not just count Nepal out at the moment, because they've had a good few months in the one day format. Um,
Mm.
and you know, with Pakistan being such an unpredictable side, even India, on their day, Nepal could beat anyone, and you know, cricket's a
Maybe
fun game.
I think
So
it's a bridge. I think it's a bridge too far. I think they can be competitive at stages, but as you
uh,
mentioned with
that's
Afghanistan,
that's
it's
been said before. To be honest, Shabel, that's been said before, but they have
look, maybe
been.
if it was in the T20 format, but maybe the 50 over contest longer, you expect India and Pakistan to go through there and Nepal to be competitive. I agree with you that they've done some really good things this year in the one day game, getting through to those World Cup qualifiers. But yeah, it's a massive step up when you go against those two sides. So if they do happen to get a win, it'd be amazing. It'd be such a great story. But realistically speaking, India and Pakistan is a safe bet in that group.
Yeah, so that's my
Uh,
top four: India, Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Bangladesh. And unfortunately, Sri Lanka, I think personally, will miss out.
because Sri Lanka play that game at home against Bangladesh later this week, that's such a critical game. That's the second game of the tournament. That could decide who goes through.
Yeah,
And I think Sri Lanka have been pretty, uh, op- well, what can I say? That they've been, look, their test form recently was awful against Pakistan, but the ODI form at home has been relatively promising. I think last year they beat Australia at home. Um, the thing I worry about Bangladesh is their batting against mystery spin is a big problem. They've struggled against it in the past. Sri Lanka have got Theekshana, and Bangladesh, and sorry, Afghanistan have got Mujib, and then you've got the quality leg spinners of Rashid Khan, Hasaranga there. I'm leaning towards Bangladesh missing out, and that's a big call because Bangladesh have been a very good one-day team in recent years. But I've got those problems. Yeah, I've got those issues with the Tigers about how they play the quality spin that
Yep.
Sri
Fair.
Lanka and Afghanistan have.
Fair point,
So
because I think if Sri Lanka are to do well, they have to be um not over reliant, but Hasaranga has to do extremely well as well, both with the ball and the bat. He's certainly been he has to step up to the plate and sort of show that
yeah,
he can be that leader
yeah,
and he can be that mainstay for his team, and Sri Lanka
yep,
can rely on him um in the long term as well, especially with the
yeah,
World
and
Cup
and, and
coming up.
yeah, absolutely, 100% agree. And I think Sri Lanka have got some good batting about them. I think Asalanka and Nisanka at the top has been pretty solid for them. Um, there's enough there, Dananjaya, De Silva. So there's enough there, I think, as a call to form a decent enough side to bag at least one win. That could be easily a group that they finish all on one win, and it comes down to the net run rate. It can be very much down to that. So in terms of predicting who goes through, it's very, very tough. Any option you pick from that group, there's a bit of logic behind it, and you can say fair enough. Like I said, it's not as if you're
Yeah.
picking a big upset to happen. Any of those teams can beat each other on the day, so
All
it
right.
should be interesting.
The big prediction. Who's your winner?
Now I might cop it from you on this, but I'm gonna go with Pakistan to win it. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
The reason I say that
Is
is
that a is that
I
a gut
believe
is that a gut feeling, or is that calculated?
a bit of both, and the reason why I say that is I think India are the favourites, fair enough, but I think Pakistan probably have a few less questions right now than India do. So India have got questions at the moment around the number four. I know Shreyas has just come back from a very serious injury, so he's got to settle in. Questions around number five. Rahul is not available yet. So there's some question marks there. Jasprit Bumrah's just come back. Prashid Krishna's just come back. So there's just a few little teething issues for India to get right. I think Pakistan's bowling attack, there's a lot to like about it. And I think, you know, with Shadab Khan there at seven, playing well, I think Pakistan might do it this time. Break that
Look,
drought that they've had in Asia Cup since 2012.
look. I think yes, you're right that Iyer and Bumrah have come back from major injuries and a long.
Mm,
They have been out of the game for quite a while, but with
yep.
with 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 players like Iyer and Bumrah, they have the quality to settle into their roles, quicker than others, and KL
Yeah.
Rahul's absence will sort of have create that gap in the middle order. But I think India have got good enough cover um, to not let that gap affect the entire team.
Mm,
Um, and I
yep.
think like we said in the previous episode of the podcast where I gave my 11, I think there's the headache is going to be whether they go with Kuldeep Yadav or not. And whether they
I
go
think
with
they have to.
Shardul
I
Thakur
think you
as well,
have to.
because that just lends,
You have to. Mm.
yeah, and that's where that's I would personally call it a good headache to have, because you've got Akshar Patel, you've got Ravindra Jadeja, you've got Hardik Pandya, you've got even Shardul Thakur in the ranks who can bat, and that will sort of strengthen the batting order, and India will bat deep, because you certainly can't have your pretty much your core ballers start at number 8, because that just is a short batting lineup, and one
Yeah.
collapse and it just all goes to waste. But I
Well,
think India have got a strong top order where you've got Rohit Sharma, Shubman Gill, Virat Kohli, even
how do we feel about Rohit's form? Are you confident that he can deliver big in
Look, I
this
think he
tournament?
can deliver. He can deliver. I think it's
How
he's at
confident
that.
are you?
I am. Look, it's always hard to say with Rohit Sharma, but I think that it's in that phase of his career where he last couple of years probably at best, and I think he'll look to go out on a high, especially with the World Cup coming up. I think it's all in the head, and it's with Rohit Sharma. He
Yeah,
has the temperament, albeit not maybe not as much as Virat Kohli, but I think he has Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma. I think will be the key for India in this Asia Cup and the World Cup. With support
definitely,
acts like Shubman Gill, Shreyas Iyer,
definitely.
Ravindra Jadeja. I'll call them support acts, but they will have a big role to play as well.
Yeah, definitely, 100% agree. And yeah, look, I think India, the favourites, as I said. Sure, this feeling Pakistan can do it. There is a bit to like about that team, and I like their pace attack. Shaheen Shah Afridi back. He's got game time under his belt in the 50 over format. Played some Test cricket recently as well, so he's got bowling in the legs. And I think Pakistan bat deeper than India do,
Yeah,
with
they
Shaheen batting
certainly do.
down there.
Yeah.
Nasim Shah can hold a bat, so that could be crucial as well. So I think probably be realistically speaking, and probably between those two. And then you might get it's a surprise somewhere else. You never know. Afghanistan are capable. Sri Lanka won the last Asia Cup, albeit in the T20 format. Who knows what Bangladesh can do on their day? I think it promises to be a very interesting tournament. It really does.
Absolutely, absolutely. And before we finish today, your quick predictions on wickets and runs. I think I'll I'll just give you my quick predictions. Firstly, because I think it will be a massive, massive Asia Cup for, as I said, Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli. But I think Shubman Gill will be the most runs. With just I think he's
Yeah,
in that
it's a
he
decent shout.
he will step up, and
Mm,
that will just bring the whole team sort of they it will raise the entire
yeah,
standard of the team.
not a bad shout. I'll go with either Virat Kohli or Baba. I'd say one of those two should play well. I'll go Virat. I think he's been playing really well this year.
Yep.
Baba has been making quite a few starts lately. Hasn't quite been going on, but he definitely can. He's a world class player. I think he's
Yep.
got like 12 or 13 50 plus scores in his last 20 innings. So he's always in the run. So you always expect him to be there.
Mm.
And I'll go with Virat though, but with Baba close in there. Bowling is interesting. It could be a spinner because most of the games are in Sri Lanka and the pitches will turn. Kuldeep is a good shout. He really is. Kuldeep Yadav. I think he'll play from the word go, and the pitches take spin. Not a bad ploy. If I was going to go a fast bowler, I don't mind Shaheen Shah Afridi with that new ball.
Yep. I was going to go Shaheen Shah Afridi as well with
Mm.
the ball. If it's a spinner, I think it's going to be really difficult to pick. But if Kuldeep Yadav ends up playing, I think Kuldeep Yadav um would be my choice as well.
There's others like Rashid Khan's there. I mean,
Yep.
Manindo Hasaranga's a
Yeah.
massive wicket taker. He could be a big pick as well. Particularly, if Sri Lanka get past that group stage and they get into that Super Four, he can cause damage as well. So, I mean, there's so many different contenders for this. That's what you get in an Asia Cup. You get a lot of quality players from these countries, and I think this tournament's going to be quite evenly poised. You might get a couple of surprises or two. So
Yep.
all eyes on Group B to start with. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Starting
Absolutely.
Thursday with that
Absolutely. It's
group.
it's going to be
Pakistan,
big.
Nepal on Wednesday. Yeah,
And India Pakistan on 2nd of September in Pallekele. So
yeah, that
um,
should be a good game.
that's
Mm.
going to be big as well. So looking forward to a massive Asia Cup, followed by a few ODI series here and there, and then we go into the big, 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 big event of the year of the last 4 years, probably, um,
Mm.
which is the World Cup. Uh, but we will be here to discuss the Asia Cup. Every game, we'll try to cover as much as possible, highlights, give our opinions, predictions. And yeah, you'll be hearing all that on the Crickbox podcast on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, and Instagram as well, wherever you can find us, Twitter. So keep listening, subscribe to the channel, like
Not
and
Twitter
comment.
anymore. It's X apparently.
X,
X.
yes, yeah, x.com. You just have to remember that. But yeah, thank you, Charbel. Thank you to the listeners.
Thanks, mate.
Thank you to the viewers, wherever you are. Good morning, good evening, and have a good night. Take care. Stay safe. Thank you.
So in our original recording, I had Sri Lanka and Afghanistan going through. I thought Sri Lanka at home, particularly given Bangladesh's worries against mystery spin, leg spin, could be a problem for the Tigers. But then soon after our recording, you see a Cricinfo article come out and all the injuries that Sri Lanka have. Chamira's out. Um, Madhushanka's out, the left arm seamer. Wanindu Hasaranga out for at least the group stages. I think Lahuru Kamara also has an injury. The bowling attack is decimated. So for that reason, I've changed my prediction to Bangladesh and Afghanistan. It's that kind of group where anything can happen, but I think that's such a chunk of quality out of the Sri Lankan bowling lineup, and I think Bangladesh and Afghanistan do have enough going for them to take advantage of that and qualify for the Super Fours.